What's up YouTube, Michelle here, and in this video I'm going to be talking about some theories that I have about the UK poverty trap, which I call it, which is basically describing the suffering and the torment and the poverty that is going on to children and adults in the UK at the moment, and how little the Conservative government is doing to actually resolve this and improve matters. It's been going on for too long. If it doesn't stop, there probably will be a civil war of some sort. You know, I just like to talk about my views on poverty and how it's destroying the UK. If you like politics and like to hear a young woman ramble about politics, coming up. You may or may not have watched a different video that I did about the stigma for people with criminal convictions. In that video there was a few clips about food banks and about poverty and how poverty also causes crime, and the two are it's a correlation and they're very much intertwined. Now, this video is mainly talking about the reasons why poverty still exists in the UK to the extent it does. Now, I'm not ever going to be saying, oh, nobody's ever going to be poor, because that's fairy tale. But what I am saying is there is a deliberate lack of compassion to the working class, and there's a deliberate lack of compassion for people with less. Such as ATOS healthcare and the PIP system and the ESA system came under scrutiny by the Board of Human Rights Commission last year and the year before, and the whole benefit system was up for renewal by the Board of Human Rights. Because the sanctions came under scrutiny because people can have the benefits stopped altogether. If they miss an appointment, they can have the benefits halved or 75% taken away. So it's like people are left with physically no money because they didn't go to an appointment for whatever reason. That is a Stalin regime. That is, totalitarian rubbish. That is not helping somebody go back to work. That is simply a poverty trap. That is simply saying, you know what, you're down there and I'm going to fucking kick you down there and kick you down there and kick you down there because I can. Because I've got the authority to do that. And I am a socialist, and I think it is disgusting the way we live. The way we are living in the UK. I've been watching this since my childhood, and I've clocked on and I've seen it decline, And I don't want to basically say it, but it's true. Now, I'm not under the impression that happiness is bought by money, but money definitely maximises happiness in a way. I don't want to get into philosophy, but it's true, okay? In my opinion, it's true. Happiness can be bought by money because you can buy things that maximise your happiness. Now, people that are living on nothing, live in survival mode. People need to realise that yes, there are people in the UK that are dying of hunger. Yes, there are people in the UK that are dying of cold. Yes, there are people in the UK with children pregnant on the street, not necessarily on substances, walking about the streets, giving birth in the street. It happens. I've seen it. I've seen pregnant women sat on, street corners in cardboard boxes. I've seen old men looking about 80 years old shivering in a cardboard box. I live in Leeds. Every time I go out just to the shops, every time I go to the bus stop, there's people in tents.
Help by food parcels.
Just write your details.
I've got 5 little ones. I've got 2 boys, 3 girls. And if it weren't for this place helping me, I'd got no help from nowhere.
Right, this is going to take a short while, yeah. Just sit down and enjoy your brew.
Here at Maundy Relief, we run a drop-in centre where people can get lunch. We also have some structured services, outreach, counselling, welfare advice, What we've noticed, particularly over the last year, is that there's been a rollback of what's available from statutory services. People like us and other small charities are picking up a lot of these pieces, but sometimes we have to ask ourselves, are we just propping up this system which is falling apart? You don't have to come when it's busy at lunchtime. We're dealing with people who are a lot more unwell. We're asked now to go and see people who are seriously mentally ill and that, suffering from psychosis or very severe depression, suicidal thoughts, and we're going into these people's homes.
My mum brought me here when I was a kid. I was about 5 or 6, and I've been coming ever since. But a lot of staff have changed, but they do a lot of good around here for people like homeless people, people who need something to eat. I come for company.
And I think people sometimes say to me, that is their responsibility. That is their responsibility. They put themselves there. They did drugs or they did that whatever to get on the streets. Now, I know what it's like to be homeless. I know the feeling of sleeping on a street corner. I know the feeling of sleeping in a hotel every night. I know the feeling of it. Some people, that is their life because they can't afford an address. When we talk about stability, what comes to mind to me is Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and I mean at the bottom of that is the psychological needs, which is water, sleep, food, safety. You need that. You need a bit of money to get that, and that isn't me being funny. It's the truth. You do need money to get that because you need money to get a stable address. You need money to fund that stable address for water, for cleaning equipment, for anything. But what I'm saying there is, yes, people that are born into riches have an advantage. And that is an obvious thing. That's not me having a revelation. That's the truth. Because if you've got less money, you've got less options. And, the correlation between people that are born into riches, that go to, Oxford University, etc., and Harvard University, and good universities, and then people that are born into poverty that don't go to university or don't get a graduate position or don't even get a job, the evidence is there. Why are we allowing this as a society to continue? I mean, it's not every single responsibility to make sure that everyone's rich, but what I'm saying is the compassion isn't there anymore. And people walk past people in the street these days and don't even look at people, don't even smile at somebody, and why? It's probably due to the media's portrayal of every single homeless person being a junkie, and they don't deserve it because the slum on benefits and rip off Britain and, benefit cheats and benefit fraud. The propaganda's getting worse as poverty is increasing. I think it's sad. I do. I think it's really, really sad. I mean, sometimes you wake up and you think, what? Am I ever going to have a job, or am I ever going to do anything? Because people need to realise that getting the essentials in life, you need a helping hand for that. What do you need to get a job? You need to think about it. What do you need to get a job? People might be sat on the street, okay? I've watched various documentaries about homeless, and in the comments are these ridiculous, suggestions, just get a job. Just get a job. It's like, okay. Realistically, what do you need to get a fucking job? Okay? You need smart clothes, which cost money. 1. You need a computer or a phone to do a little bit of research into the company so you don't turn up, unaware. You need transport to get to the interview and back. You need a CV, which costs money to print off, or you need to go somewhere to pay to print it off. You need qualifications, and you need ID, which I'm going to say is the biggest thing. You need ID. No job under the sun, except from cash in hand jobs, will take you without any form of ID. I'm having this issue. I thought I'd say this. I don't even have the money to get a job. And that sounds funny, but a lot of people are in that poverty trap of not being able to even get a job because of lack of money. I don't have the money at the moment to even get a passport to actually go ahead with my DBS because I can't afford to get a passport because I'm on benefits. So I can't afford to come off benefits or stay on benefits, so I can't get a job. And it's like, this is the UK. Other countries have got this problem, but it's pronounced in the UK. And as a socialist, I think, what can we do about this situation? We need to We need to kind of have a little bit of compassion. We need to have a little bit of understanding that, yes, the class system is more apparent than it's ever been in the past fucking 100 years. I'll say, when I was in prison for the first time, I saw a lot of people that were from poverty. I spoke to a lot of different people, and they all said, oh, I grew up with nothing. Oh, I grew up poverty. I grew up not being able to eat. I grew up with nothing, no TV. That is the same story I'm hearing over and over again. There was a few people that have got doctorates, masters, whatever. But then a lot of people are like, well, you know what, I grew up from nothing, so I had nothing. It isn't a case of, oh, you battled against adversity and you just rose up like a dragon. Those cases do happen, but a lot of people just sink. Because when you sat with nothing, literally nothing, how can you make nothing out of nothing? You know, we're not talking the Big Bang, but how can we make nothing out of nothing in job-wise? There's no help from the government. 6 months ago, I went to the job centre, dressed in a smart black suit, and I went there. And I was like, you know what, I'm looking to get a job. Do you know what I mean? I really want a job, just a bit of extra money while I'm at university. And they basically said, okay, what are you interested in? I explained that I got a few criminal convictions, and the two women basically turned around and said, oh, well, just go self-employed. And they gave me a couple of leaflets and that's it, and asked me to go. And I said, eh? I said, you are the job centre. And they said, yeah, but you've got criminal convictions, we're not trained to help with that. And I said, yes, but you are a job advisor. So you're telling me that I've got no prospects. And they said, unless you go self-employed, I don't know what to tell you. I went back a couple of weeks later and asked to speak to a different advisor. Guess what? They said exactly the same thing, and this was a guy. So it's like the government is funding a cult. Because people that actually are desperate to work, people that come out of prison, people that want jobs are being told, well, sorry, you can't have them. You know, which just feeds back into the poverty trap. People that are disabled, people that physically can't do work are being told, just stay on benefits. And then they're being criminalised for staying on benefits by having slum Britain, propaganda blurted all over the ITV, Channel 4 especially. It's like, why does the media think it's appropriate to blast propaganda material out there, you know, to criminalise people on benefits? Then they're telling people on benefits to stay on benefits because it's easier for them and their economy anyway. You know, we've got people waking up in the morning not eating for 3-4 days because they can't. This is what's fueling crime. Like I said in the previous video, I talk about it a different way in this video, but it's true. It's true. What would you do if you were hungry, if you were lonely, if you thought, fuck it, do you know what I mean? My stomach is churning, I want something decent to eat. Oh, I live next to a decent food shop. Would you shoplift that shop for food or what? I would. And I'm not bothered about saying it here. I would, because it's a case of survival of the fittest. You know, you survive. You do what you need to do to stay alive. Or you could faint, pass out and go to a general hospital where they'll probably give you food anyway and then tell you to eat. The system's backward. What is the cure? What is the way that the UK can get out of this poverty trap? Affordable education is one. Not lumping students down with a ridiculous amount of debt and putting people off education, such as saying, well, you will be, you know, having to pay it back for etc years. I mean, that was a Margaret Thatcher proposal which got pushed through for some bizarre reason. But yes, getting rid of these ridiculous student finance lump sums, which puts people off, which scares people into going into study. 2, affordable housing, because you know a lot of people in the UK find it difficult to get home because of the way that housing benefit is. I mean, you have to be 35 or over to get housing benefit now, full housing benefit. So if you're below 35, or it might be 25, I think it's 35, you don't get housing benefit. So it's like, what? People having to live in shared houses or hostels or whatever because they can't afford it. 3, a more compassionate, understanding outlook. Just because you were born into a family with a car, a MacBook Pro, 255,000 in the bank, whatever, you know, that's not everybody. You know, we need to take off these cleansed spectacles and actually say, well, you know what, that might be just my view of it. Nobody else might have had that particular, experience. You know, your next door neighbour might be struggling to pay the rent every single month. You know, we shouldn't live in a cold-hearted society. We should live in a society that wants to help and encourage others. When we go to primary and secondary school, we're taught to forgive. We're taught to not bully others. We're taught to not be a nasty person. We're taught to be forgiving, kind, understanding person. I also think awareness of children as well. Like giving children from a young age, you know, talking about things. You know, it's all well and good saying, oh, well, people are different, but actually sitting down and having that frank discussion saying, you know what, some children are poor. Some children can't afford the latest trainers. Some people have to come into school wearing rags. Some people don't get fed on a night. Some people have nothing. And opening children up to that at a young age opens the possibility for compassion, and helps widen things, because there needs to be a discussion from any age, really. I mean, I'm lucky that I had a father that was open-minded and said from a young age to me, there is people worse than you, there's people richer than you, there's going to be people that are always going to have less because the world's shit. And if you meet people that are worse off than you, you know, try and be as compassionate and kind as you can. And that is my motto. If you meet somebody on the street, you know, struggling, why can't you smile at them? Why can't you just give them a quick conversation, even get them a coffee or a sandwich if you've got the money for that? People are struggling in the UK. We don't deserve any more criticism and propaganda chucked at us, or made about us, should I say. You know, imagine living off food banks every couple of months. You know, just not even knowing what you're going to eat. Waking up every single day, not knowing if you can feed your children. Not knowing these things, it is sad. And I made this video really to give a big, you know, open your eyes to the upper class and people that maybe have a lot that they're ungrateful for. I mean, I'll say this, a lot of people are ungrateful in the UK. I was an ungrateful person. You know, they walk about with the latest smartphones and, you know, Adidas jeans, and walking about with a Versace coat on, not even realising how much they've got in their life. Going home to fibre broadband and 2 sofas, you know, and 2 fridges and a king-size bed with heating, and they don't understand what they've got with a 55-inch TV, all the latest consoles, and even being able to go abroad every couple of years or whatever. That is a luxury. A lot of us on benefits don't even have that. So count lucky stars if you've got a nice big TV, if you've got a sofa, if you've got a nice warm place to sleep at night, because a lot of us don't. I've got nothing more to say. If you agree with what I'm saying, please press a like button to stamp out this ridiculous poverty trap in the UK. We can't do it ourselves, but we can definitely raise awareness of inequality. Thank you for listening, and press that subscribe button. Trying to get to 1,000 by the end of the year. Hopefully I can do it. Thank you for listening. It's been Michelle.